I realize it's July, and maybe it's because of the heat outside, but I found myself thinking a little bit about Christmas. Some of that is because I'm a planner, and we live a long way from family, and so you have to start thinking about airline tickets a long way out, and just schedules and planning and all the rest of it. And so I've been thinking a little bit about Christmas, and one of the things that came to my mind this week is my favorite Christmas movie, which is Scrooge. Scrooge, I don't know if you know Scrooge. Everybody, you're laughing, but I don't mean Scrooge, duh. Scrooge with Albert Finney. It's a musical. This is where some of you who know me are shocked because I do not do musicals. But Scrooge is the exception. It's my favorite Christmas movie. It is amazing. The music is fantastic. It is incredible. It just sucks you in. So I highly recommend it. Go watch Scrooge. There's one scene that we skip every time. I won't get into it right now. You can ask me later. All right, but it's a great movie. And probably the catchiest song in the whole movie is sung by Scrooge as he walks around the streets of London, bumping into people in the marketplace, walking past all the people bustling around as they're doing their Christmas shopping. And the song that he sings is, "I hate people," which makes sense, right? Scrooge is not a lover of humankind. And this is a movie that some of my kids have watched, and quickly, even if they haven't seen the movie, they've heard a lot of the music. And this is the song that they always love to sing. I hate people. It's super catchy. And usually I hear them singing under their breath right after they had a fight with like one of their siblings, right? It's just letting us know how they feel in general about the human race. I hate people. But I think one of the reasons it's so catchy, maybe in ways that we don't want to admit, is that sometimes we don't like people very much either. I know we should. I mean, we're in church. I mean, we should love everybody. Jesus loves everybody, but let's be honest, we don't always like people very much. We certainly don't always love people because people are hard. People are difficult. People are messy. And on top of that, they're unavoidable. Right? I mean, if nothing else, at least you could escape from them, but there's really no escaping from people. They're everywhere you look. You have to deal with people in every facet of your life. And the reality is that even if you could get away from people, you shouldn't. I mean, if the last few years have taught us nothing through COVID and then all the digital realities and how we have become more and more isolated, we should know that being alone is not good for your soul. Like, we were not created to live on our own, to never engage with other human beings. It is not good for humans to be alone. We need other people, which means that we need to know how to get along with other people. Just at a very basic, simple level, like we need to know how to get along, which also isn't easy. And part of the reason it's difficult is because oftentimes the people we struggle the most to get along with are the people that we're closest to. The people that we have the hardest time avoiding can be the very people that drive us the most crazy. I mean, it's the people that we love that we struggle to love. And those are the people we like, at least in theory. Those are the people we love, at least in theory. I mean, what about the people that we can't stand, right? There's the know-it-all at work, or that person who's just a grouch and is just constantly negative about everything in life, or that jerk who cut you off in traffic, almost caused an accident, and then had the gall to flip you the Jersey bird, just to let you know that it was actually your fault, right? See, people are difficult. People are messy. People are not easy to love. And if we're going to get along with other people, as often is the case with so many struggles in life, so many realities of life, if we're going to get along with other people, if we're going to navigate those relationships and create the kinds of relationships that we want to have, it actually starts with us, not with them. All this month we've been in the book of Proverbs looking at the art of living wisely. Like, what does it mean to live with skill in a way that brings happiness and joy and meaning and purpose? And in life, there is no escaping relationships. I mean, relationships are fundamental. They're all encompassing within life. You can't get away from relationships, which means that the quality of your life will be determined by the quality of your relationships. And so Solomon, at the very beginning of Proverbs, as he's just beginning to introduce all the wisdom that he is going to lay out for us, he begins by giving us a baseline, if you will, of how we should approach our relationship, both with God, but also with one another. In Proverbs 3, starting in verse 3, Solomon writes this. He says, "Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man." If you want to maintain a good relationship, if you want to cultivate a healthy relationship, if you want to have a good relationship both with God and other people, then you have to exude love and faithfulness. It has to be bound around your neck and written on the tablet of your heart. It has to be part of who you are, your character. You have to live out love and faithfulness, not only to God, but also to others, to other people. See, one of the effects of sin, and I realize that sin is one of those weighty theological words, and for some of you that may carry some baggage with you, but we don't need to be afraid of talking about sin. Sin is just the reality of the human condition. And at the very basic level, the problem with sin is that it separates us from God and from other people. There is a vertical and a horizontal dimension of sin. Yesterday, we were at a swim meet. All four of my kids are on the Tempe Chase swim team. Went 5-0 this year. Very proud of them. They did awesome. And it was really exciting. You don't have to applaud. I did nothing. And so we were at the meet yesterday. And this is new to me, okay? They've been doing this for the past few years. But I didn't grow up swimming competitively. I didn't understand this whole world. I still am figuring out some of the rules. And so yesterday, I was standing at one of the ends of the lane watching my child swim down. And, I'm videoing or whatever. And I realized that there's these different people who are standing out with white shirts and clipboards. And so I'm kind of observing this. And I noticed on one of the lanes, not with my child, just to be clear, one of the other lanes, they raised their hand. And I realized what they were saying is they're signaling that child, that swimmer, is disqualified. They've seen something in the way that they were swimming that disqualified them. It's a violation. So, for example, the one that I noticed was there was a cute little kid, he's out there, he's trying to breaststroke. He's just learning how to do this. And so his arms, he's doing kind of a breaststroke, but he's kicking like freestyle. So that's a violation. You can't do that. That is a swimming sin, if you will. You have violated, notice though, you violated this in two different ways, vertically and horizontally, because what you've done is you violated like the rules of swimming, right? That govern all the rules of swimming. But the reason those rules exist is because they are there to guarantee fair play, right? If you are swimming the breaststroke, but you're kicking freestyle, that is a competitive advantage. So you're not allowed to do that. See, you're violating swimming rules, but also you're giving yourself a competitive advantage. In that sense, you are separating yourself. You're setting yourself apart from the others who are swimming. And so in a similar way, when we sin, understand that we are violating rules, both vertically and horizontally, right? We're violating the universal rules of how we should live as human beings, how God has created us. But those rules exist because that is how life works best for everyone. And see, one of the most destructive misconceptions that we can have about our relationship with God and other people is if we think that only one matters. Like if you think that only your relationship with God matters and it doesn't matter how you relate to other people and how you get along with other people and how you love other people, then you misunderstand the nature of sin. You misunderstand even the nature of how God loves us and how we love in relationship to God. So for example, this is why, real clearly, this is why when Jesus is asked what the single greatest commandment is, he gives two. Love God and love others. Because the two are inseparable. You cannot have one without the other. So for example, if you were to come to me and say, Lucas, dude, you're such a great guy. I love you. You and I, we're best buds, and we have such a great relationship. Oh, I hate your children. Like we're not best buds, all right? I don't know what's in your head, but that's not how I'm going to see our relationship. You can't come at one of my kids, you can't hate one of my kids and think that you and I are okay. So you can't truly love God and hate the people who God loves. And so we are supposed to act, Solomon tells us, in love and faithfulness, not only to God, but also to everyone, all people. Love and faithfulness are really two sides of the same coin. Okay, together they are a commitment that we're going to treat other people the way that we should, even when we don't feel like it. Because let's be honest, there's times where you don't want to treat people the way that they should be treated. Right? There's times where they don't deserve it. There's times where, frankly, you're just kind of feeling selfish and you kind of want to get away with it. So you don't want to treat people that way. Well, see, you need love and faithfulness. You're going to do the right thing even when it's not easy, even when you don't want to. And so if you skip down to verse 27, Solomon expounds on this just a little bit. He says, do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to act. He says, if they deserve good, like they haven't done anything to harm you, like just give them what they deserve. Treat them the way they deserve to be treated. Do not say to your neighbor, come back later, I'll give it tomorrow, when you now have it with you. In other words, don't wait to do the right thing towards somebody else. See, it's easy to go, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't do what I should have done. See, that you're still wrong. If you know how you should treat someone else, if you owe them, they deserve something, if there's just a right way to treat them and you don't do it, you're still wrong. That's still sin. Verse 29, do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse a man for no reason when he has done you no harm. Right? See, if somebody hasn't hurt you, don't hurt them. I mean, I don't know if you can wrap your head around this, but this is not rocket science. Like, there's nothing really radical about this. He's just saying, be a decent human being. Like, treat people civilly, be decent towards them, be kind just because they haven't hurt you. So why would you hurt them? And yet, there are examples all around us, and you've seen them, of people who will take advantage of others just because they can, who will go out of their way to hurt other people, to be cruel just because they can get away with it. One of the memories that I have growing up that is really etched in my mind, I was a teenager, and my dad at the time, he was an architect builder, and he had a client, this very wealthy couple, and I don't remember if it was a house that he had designed and built for them, or maybe it was an addition, but there was a whole contract. They go through the whole project, and there's different payments along the way. Mostly they go to the contractors, and at the end is the final payment, and they got right to the end, and my dad reached out to collect the final bill payment, and they said, we don't think so. Just no. We just don't feel like it. There's nothing wrong with the work. It was done. It was satisfactory. Everything was settled. They just decided they didn't feel like paying. And see, what they did was they took advantage of the fact that, one, my father is a good and decent person who, maybe to a fault, refuses to ever take legal action against anyone else. Like, he's just not that person. That's not what he's going to do. But also, they took advantage of the fact that they were in a position of power. They had a lot more money than he had. And so they knew that it probably wasn't going to be in his best interest. He could not pay. He could not hold out long enough for the amount of money that he was owed. And so they gambled that he would just move on, which is what he did. Now, let me just tell you real quickly that if you're a wealthy person, the temptation to take advantage of people, and because you can get away with it, is more dangerous for you. It's not because you're worse. It's not because your heart is darker. The reality is that if you're poor, even if you wanted to do that, you just don't have the means. And so if you have more money so that you can get away with hurting other people, then you need to be twice as guarded about how you treat other people decently. And see, what Solomon's saying here is don't be that kind of person. Don't be somebody who withholds good. Don't be somebody who repays good with evil, even. Don't cheat other people just because you can. And the reason is, at some level, is because this is a threat to the relationship, right? This is conflict that is so needless. I mean, just think for a moment how much needless conflict, how much strife and anger and bitterness and all of that is cultivated when we don't treat people the way that we should. I mean, there's so many opportunities that we have to do the right thing, and when we fail to do that, we create needless conflict. We break relationships. We hurt other people for no good reason. And See, one of the signs of a fool, right? Somebody who makes a mess of their life and their relationships and leaves a path of destruction behind them is somebody who goes around creating unnecessary conflict. In chapter 20, verse 3, it says, "It is to a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel." Some of you are old enough to remember Jeff Foxworthy, "You Might Be a Redneck." Where I grew up, this was like a thing, because we actually had rednecks, and some in my family, and so Jeff Foxworthy's whole thing was, "You might be a redneck," and then he had a whole list of funny, sort of like descriptions, like, "You might be a redneck if your house has more mileage than your car." You might be a redneck if bikers back down from your mama, right? You might be a redneck. And see, what Solomon wants us to see is that if you look for strife, if you are looking to pick a fight, if you are a quarrelsome person, like you're looking for somebody you can pick an argument with, start a fight, he says, then you are probably a fool. Now, let's be clear about this. To avoid strife and to not be quick to quarrel doesn't mean that you never stand up for what's right. See, I don't want us to misunderstand what Solomon's here. He's not saying, look, avoid conflict at all costs. He's not saying be a pushover. He's not saying look at evil and turn the other way. What he's saying is that there are some people who go through life and they are spoiling for a fight. They are looking, right? These are the people online on social media, and they're looking for somebody to argue with, somebody who wants to lash out and start a fight, right? These are the people maybe you've experienced in your life who you can't get a word in and they've got a retort. Like they're just always looking for a conflict. They're always looking for an argument. And see, if you're that type of a person, Solomon says, look, you're not wise. And by the way, everyone in your life knows it. Like if you've encountered people like that, you've seen people and they just leave a swath of destruction behind them, right? Every relationship that they have eventually gets broken because they just can't stop causing fights, can't stop quarreling, can't stop arguing. Then you don't respect them. Some people might be intimidated by someone like that because they tend to be bullies, but you don't respect them. And clearly this is a foolish way to live. In 12:16, he says, a fool shows his annoyance at once. In other words, this is somebody who's quick to fight, right? They show their annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult. Some of you need to ingest this. Just soak this one in. Just think about how much conflict you could avoid in your life if you overlooked some offenses. The saddest people that I've known in my life, and believe me, I've known a few, are those people who are incapable of forgiving an offense. They can never overlook an insult. They just soak every perceived slight into their soul. Like if you've ever been to a hoarder's home, you walk in, you ever seen pictures of this, and it's like just trash and junk everywhere. It's just all in there, and they can't really live. Like it's a very unhealthy way to live. That's what a person who takes in every slight is like, right? It just fills up their soul. And they can't forgive and forget because this becomes the very fuel of their life. Like who would they be without all of those offenses to just give them the anger and the bitterness that they need to survive for another day? And this is such an isolating way to live. Right? When you take in every slight, you are cutting yourself off from other people. Chapter 18, verse 19, it says, an offended brother is more unyielding than a fortified city, and disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel. See, if you don't overlook some slights, then you are barring yourself off from everybody else in your life. Because what you're effectively doing is you're saying, you're going to stay out there because I'm suspicious of you. I will only let you get so close. I'm watching you. I suspect, I'm convinced, in fact, that every action, every word, somewhere along the line, you are trying to attack me. And so I have to put up these bars. I got to hold you at arm's distance. And not only that, but if you are easily offended, if you're overly sensitive, people can't get near you because you're a dangerous person. Have you ever had someone that you just never knew when they were going to explode? I mean, just one of those volatile people. And whenever you're around them, it's like you're walking on egg skin. You're trying to, or eggshell, not the skin. I said that the first service too. I don't know what is it with egg skin in my head, but eggshell, right? You don't want to step on the eggshell. You're just being careful because you don't know what's going to set them off. And see, understand that in that relationship, you don't have one. Like you don't have a friendship with that person because you can't be you. You have to be who they need you to be. You can only be you to the extent that they accept you. You got to be careful, careful, careful. You never want to say the wrong thing or act the wrong way because you don't know how they're going to take it the wrong way and then come at you. They're going to attack you. And so you got to watch out for those people. You got to watch out for people who are overly critical all the time, who are holding on to every perceived slight and every offense. They are looking for a fight. You got to watch out for them because eventually, watch out, you'll be on the list. At some point, they will turn on you. So you got to watch out for them, and also don't be one of those people, right? Don't be them, right? Don't overreact when other people insult you, when other people hurt you, for every perceived slight, right? Do yourself a favor and just chill out, right? You gotta de-escalate. You gotta disarm those landmines. You gotta diffuse the bomb instead of adding to it. In chapter 15, there we go, verse 18, it says, a hot-tempered man stirs up dissension, but a patient man calms a quarrel. 17:27, a man of knowledge uses words with restraint, and a man of understanding is even-tempered. 29, verse 11, a fool gives full vent to his anger, doesn't hold anything back. Both barrels, boom. But a wise man keeps himself under control. See, the question you have to ask yourself is, wouldn't you rather have some peace in your life rather than looking for slights under every word, under every action, turning them over? How does this offend me? How does this hurt me? Wouldn't you rather enjoy a healthy, happy relationship rather than just looking for a fight with everybody around you? Or maybe it's a specific person. You just can't help it. You just want to fight them every time they walk in the room. They just rub you the wrong way. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't you rather have some peace in your life? So de-escalate, disarm, diffuse. And the way he says to do that, look at these verses. He says, be patient, right? Don't be hot-tempered. Don't blow up. Don't react. Don't fly off the handle. Be patient. Calm the quarrel. Have some restraint. Have some self-control. Don't assume, as soon as they speak, that you know all of their motives. Don't assume that you know their mind. I know exactly why they did that. They were after me all along. Right? Have some restraint. Have some understanding. Right? Don't seek to win every single argument. Listen more and talk less. See, if you want to make your life a whole lot easier, and you want to make your relationships a whole lot better, then you got to de-escalate, you got to disarm, you got to diffuse, right? You want less drama in your life. Listen, I don't know about you, I'm always looking for less drama. All right, I have a policy of as little drama as possible in my life because there's enough already. Like, I can't avoid drama. You got people in your life, you're going to have drama. Why would you want to add to it unnecessarily? Like, don't contribute to it. You should be the person de-escalating the drama. It's funny, Carrie and I, we used to watch, more serious drama-type TV shows and movies. We gave that up. You ever just reach that point, you're like, I got enough drama in my life. I don't need to see that show. I don't need to watch that movie. I'm sure it's great, critically acclaimed, and all the rest of it. All your friends are watching it. I just don't need more drama. I got drama in real life. See, if you want less needless drama in your life and less conflict, right, do yourself a favor. Take a deep breath. Don't overreact to every perceived slight. Because listen, how you react will come back to you. This is so interesting. In chapter 11, Solomon gives us 3 verses. I'm going to look at them separately. He says, a kind man benefits himself, but a cruel man brings trouble on himself. Are you seeing this? He says, a cruel man, you're going to act cruelly. Guess what? You're going to get trouble back. You take trouble into the world, you get trouble in return. Verse 25, a generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. So you have the contrast. You've got the person who brings trouble into the world and receives trouble. Here's the person who brings refreshment. I love that picture. Are you refreshing to the people around you? And you'll get refreshment in return. Verse 27, he who seeks good finds goodwill, but evil comes to him who searches for it. One of the realities of life that I think we can overlook and we don't appreciate is that life really is, to a large extent, what you make of it. I think as Christians, sometimes we can be so afraid that we're diminishing God's power and control, which are very real, that we forget that the way that we act in the world actually matters. Like, you affect the world around you. You affect the mood of the people you come in contact with. The choices that you make affect the world in which you live and the people that you come in contact with, the people around you. And see, what Solomon is telling us here is that whatever you bring into the world and whatever you look for in the world, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to find. So interesting, Carrie and I, we in our family, as most of you know, we moved from Texas to New Jersey. And I was just very surprised. One of the things that surprised me most about living in New Jersey is how many people I met in New Jersey who were, one, stunned that we would move from Texas to New Jersey. I mean, they just could not wrap their heads around this reality. It's like, why would you ever come to New Jersey? But part of that, too, was, man, they don't like living in New Jersey. I mean, and these are people from New Jersey, and they're like, oh, why would you ever come here? And they're just telling me all the bad things about New Jersey. And then I would say, I kind of like New Jersey. I think I like having seasons. I think we live in a beautiful place, and we got mountains right there and the shore right there. And there's so many things that I enjoy about New Jersey. I'll tell you, I have lived in a lot of different places, and I have enjoyed every place that we live because there's good everywhere that you live. You just have to look for it. And in those conversations, I kid you not, I would repeat back to them what I just said to you. I'd say, man, it's so beautiful here, and I love the seasons, and I love the mountains and the shore. And they would have this look of like, oh, it's like they've forgotten. It's like they completely, it's like, oh yeah, you still live here. It hasn't changed. But see, one of the things that I've found as I've observed people my whole life, and I've seen this in myself as well, is that you find what you're looking for. Miserable people go looking for misery, and they find lots of reasons to be miserable. But he who seeks good finds goodwill. Healthy, contented, well-adjusted people, man, they go looking for good, and they find it. There's a lot of reasons to be miserable, but there's a lot of good. And see, when you carry that attitude and that spirit into the world, it really does affect the people around you. It shapes the world around you. Miserable people create misery everywhere they go. But you take one joyful person and put them in a room, and it can change the whole mood. And nothing changes people more than love. Chapter 10, verse 12. Hatred stirs up dissension, but love covers all wrongs. Recently, my Facebook account got hacked. And so I got a notification from Facebook that they had deleted and shut down my account, and then asked me if I wanted to start a new one. And I was like, I'm good. Oh no, I don't have Facebook. There's some helpful things. There's some good things about Facebook. We've got friends all over the country and friends in different parts of the world. And thankfully, Carrie still has a Facebook page so she can keep me informed. But I was good. I didn't need that anymore. I like seeing my friends. I like seeing their kids grow up. But you know what I got really tired of? I don't know if you can relate to this. I got tired of all the arguments and the posturing and the anger and the all caps yelling. See, part of the spirit of our culture right now is that we are looking for a fight. We are looking for an offense. We like to be angry. We're like basking in it. We love to feel morally outraged against those people, righteous indignation that they would ever think or say like that. And this isn't just something that's just online in sort of this abstract way or just sort of at a national or social level or, like this is personal. I mean, this is happening in our families, in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, even in our churches. And there are some of us who are so highly attuned to every offense, every slight. Like we enter every conversation, we walk into every relationship, every circumstance looking for the offense, looking for how we're gonna be outraged, how are they gonna not get it quite right, and so that we can tell them how they're wrong. Man, we are looking for that. And see, how are we ever gonna have healthy relationships when we can't even get along with the people who are closest to us, much less the people that we hardly know? And see, if we're going to have the kind of relationships that we need to thrive as people, to grow as people, the kind of relationships that we were created for, where we grow together, if we're gonna get along with other people, then we have to be different. Hatred stirs up dissension, but love covers all. See, love, not hatred, not outrage, not righteous indignation. Love is the only solution. And I know that can sound cliche, and I think sometimes it's because we don't really believe it. It's like, oh, that's what we have to say at church. But can I just point out that a lot of the strategies that we use, where we're trying to solve our relationships, can we just acknowledge that, man, they don't work? You ever tried to solve a relationship with an argument? Ever try to reconcile with somebody when you're letting them know just how wrong they are? I mean, I know it makes sense. I mean, we try this. This is our strategy. If I could just get through your thick skull how wrong you are, then you would thank me because I'm just trying to help you. It's so weird that they don't thank you. I mean, how ungrateful. It's ridiculous. Don't they understand? Or if you try to punish somebody else because they've slighted you in some way, and so you're just going to slight them a little more. You just let them know how it's going. Let them learn their lesson and see this is one of our strategy. You hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you a little bit more. You slight me, I'm gonna slight you a little bit more. You say that to me, I'm gonna gossip behind your back, or I'm gonna say this to just kind of cut you down to size. We're gonna teach them that lesson, and it's weird. Again, they don't seem to ever learn that lesson. And if you try that long enough, that friendship will end. And if you do that long enough, that relationship will end. That marriage will end because you haven't learned your lesson. See, it might sound cliche, but the reality is that love really is the answer, because love is the only power in the universe strong enough to change the human heart. And you might change somebody's mind with a really brilliant, reasonable argument. You might even be able to change someone's behavior if you have enough leverage over them. But only love will ever change their heart. And see, listen, this is why Jesus, when he came, he didn't show up trying to win an argument. Like, Jesus came to earth, and even though he's the wisest person who ever lived, like, he didn't walk out and say, let me explain to you how you guys are all wrong. Let me just amaze you with my brilliance and my argument and my logic. He also didn't belittle people. He didn't condemn them. He didn't tell them, let me tell you all the ways that you're getting it wrong and you better figure it out because that wouldn't have changed anything. Instead, he used love. All right, it was love. It was love that saved the world. It was love that saves us. It's love that conquers sin and death, because it's love that covers all wrongs, all of our wrongs. Past, present, and future. I don't know who you are struggling to get along with in your life. That person you just can't seem to stand. That person you can hardly be in the same room with. A person who just rubs you the wrong way, but if you're going to get along with them, then you have to love them. And if you want to love them, the place that you start is in understanding how loved you are. When you understand how God loves you, how unimaginable his love is, how deep and wide and how high his love is for you, love that you don't deserve, love that you haven't earned. It's only when you understand that love that then you can love without needing something in return, without needing them to know that they're wrong and you're right. to love them unconditionally, because that's how Jesus has loved you. I don't know if you've thought about this, but when Jesus was nailed to the cross, when he was crucified, like these are real nails. They're being hammered through his hands and his feet. This is a real cross that he hung on as he bled out and died. This is excruciating pain. And as he hung there and he looked down on the people who had just nailed him and on the religious leaders who had plotted his death, he didn't threaten them. He didn't condemn them. He didn't say, you're going to get yours someday. And he didn't call down fire or armies to wipe them all out. What did he do? He said, Father, forgive them. Only love could do that. See, when you understand how God has loved you, when you understand how he has forgiven you, all of the sin that separates us from him and from other people, that all of that love has covered it all. Jesus paid for it all. When you understand that, then you don't have to get back at other people. You don't have to settle the score. You don't have to hold on to every spite. You don't have to hang on to every slight. You can love because the God of the universe, the God who created you and knows you, who owed you nothing, gave everything for you. The God who knows you better than you know yourself and has seen you at your worst, he adores you anyway. Only love could do that. Only God could do that. If you're here this morning and you don't know God's love like that for you, you've never allowed the truth of God's love to really sink into your heart and to sink into your soul, I want to invite you right now that Jesus gave his life for you. And if you want to experience a relationship with him, then that invitation is on the table. He wants you to know him. He wants you to experience new life with him. And just as he gave his life for you, here's the offer. You get to give your life to him. And he will come into your life and he will change everything. He will make you who you were made to be and give you the life that you're meant for. There is a relationship with God that is unlike any other. It is the relationship that changes all other relationships. And so if you've never stepped into that relationship, I want you to start there. Do you know God? Have you accepted his offer of forgiveness and the promise of eternal life? Start there. Would you all just bow with me? Just bow your heads for a moment. We're going to pray. And if you're here this morning and you just realize that you don't have that kind of relationship with God, I want you to know that he knows you and he loves you. See, he has a relationship with you. He made you, he knows you, he loves you. But if you have never accepted the forgiveness that Jesus offers, if you have never given your life to him and stepped into that relationship with him, right now I want to just invite you that you can take that step and you can pray to him a very simple prayer. Jesus, I give you my life. Jesus, I need the forgiveness that you offer. I need the life that only you can give. Jesus, I give you my life. Right now, you can pray that. And when you do, you step into a new life with God, a new relationship with him, and it will change all the other relationships in your life. But this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Father, I just pray right now for anyone here who has just made that decision to step into a new life, a relationship with you that changes everything. I pray that they would know your presence and that this is just the beginning. I pray that they would come and just have the courage to share with one of us, with me or one of our other pastors, leaders, because we want to walk alongside them. It's not a journey that we take on our own. And Lord, for all of us here who have relationships that we struggle with, and we have people that we struggle to get along with. This is just reality of life. But God, I pray that we would be a changed people, a people who do not react by flying off the handle, with anger, with retribution. But Lord, that out of love, the love that you have shown us, Lord, that we would respond with patience, with understanding, with compassion. Lord, that we would seek to understand, that we would be the people that calm the argument, that disarm the quarrel. Lord, help us to be a people who bring peace wherever we go. In a world that is so full of violence, so full of outrage, help us to be the quiet presence that shows people that there's a better way. We pray this in your name. Amen.